thank you, the bands, the singers, and the dancers, the jumpers. And if you have a watch, I'm going to reach the steps in about 2 minutes because of the worship like that. Hey, good to see you this afternoon. I love your accent, by the way, Jordan, again. Like QR code. It's a pretty QR code. Okay, you need to switch to my Polish accent, so it's fine. From British to Polish. We're going to continue our series. And you know, this Sunday is very special for us after so many years. I am alone as a pastor today. Our pastors, Josiah and Brandy, they are in the States right now. They just left on Thursday. Pastor Philip and Marta are in Italy. They left on Wednesday. Our kids pastor Anya left to Germany on Friday. And my wife is in Israel. And it's like, what happened? What happened to the planning? So anyway, we're going to do it. We're doing good, so it's great. I love always the church that, you see that it's not about the few people, but it's about all of us. Because that's the church. It's not the heroes, that's like few, but all. That's what is important. So it's pretty good. Last week, Pastor Josiah started our new series, that's Are We There Yet? And, as you probably remember, the whole story, we started with a Shrek. The whole story after, when they were driving in this Charlotte, and they was like, are we there yet? Are we there yet? It's like, those who as the kids, we all know that this is the part of our life, that we all know that it's the journey, and that's how we learning that how to live our life, and we are there just to experience. And, I have 2 boys, as you know, that are teenagers, so they learned that when they travel with me, I am pretty tough. It's quite hard to travel with me. I was training my kids. When they travel with me, they travel on my rules. So that's like, before a trip, you go to the toilet. It's not when you get to the car, you decided to go to the toilet. So you go to the car, and before I go there, I go, did you go to the toilet? I don't need to. I don't care if you need to. You go to the toilet. So that's if you are not parent yet. So this is a good lesson for you. You have to make your kids go to the toilet, because if you don't, in the 5 minutes after you start the journey, there is, can we stop? And my boys are not here, so I can preach about them. So it's so there was our things that the longer we go, I was like, no, the next stop is in about 3-4 hours. We're not stopping. So get whatever you need. There's no stops, because I am the person who looks at the destiny, not on the journey. And I'm not saying this is good. So I was the person, maybe like I was the person. Or I wish I was. I'm still learning. So I want to experience and enjoy the journey. But the thing is that, as myself, I learned that I am just this kind of guy who's like, that's my destiny. I want to get there as soon as possible. No stops. And the kids, you are with me. Bear it. It's like, it's seriously. So my wife is like, she has more grace. She's like, seriously, there's a gas station, you have to stop. So I'm like, not stopping. So that's like, and that's like, don't drink or don't do anything, because the 4 hours, it's like 4 hours is the next stop. So it's like a tough. So I'm going to, at the end of the service, I'm going to encourage you to join my team. So probably most of you will be like, I don't want to be on your team. So it's like, it's tough. It is, but it's fun. So I'm learning that actually it's very important to be on the journey. So are we there yet? The whole series, we're talking about eternity. And as a Christian, we forgot about the eternity. We are called to eternity, and we forgot that that's our main focus. So instead of that, we are so focused on the things right now, right here, that we forgot about the eternity. And as a spirit people, we need to think and believe that we are here for the bigger reason than just to fight for the fight that we are going through right now. Probably most of us, we have some fights. We have some disappointment. We have some things that we are fighting. And sometimes we're thinking, oh, it's too big, too much. And if I just overcome this, that will be great. Or we just think, if I just get there. The last week we heard about, if we just get there, everything will be fine. And we learned last week that, every time we get to the next thing, we enjoy for a short time. That's like, is this it? Or there is something more? And the question why we're asking is this because we are called for eternity. And only eternity can bring satisfaction to us, that we live for something bigger than just for reaching whatever we want right here and right now. So we have today the dog service as well. So you can bring the dogs next week. I'm not preaching, so you can bring dogs, no cats. Cats can come to the church opposite. There is like the Ukrainian church. They love cats. So you can go there with cats. Seriously, Dominika. No. That's cute. Gosh. Eternity. Focus. So I want to share with a story that is from the first book of Genesis. There is a story, we a few weeks ago, we were listening about Abraham, we were listening about this great promise. And today I want to talk about the two sons. It's like Abraham has this promise that he will have a great nation, will come out of him. And we know that when he was 100 years old, his son was born. His name was Isaac. And the son was born, and that was like the son of the promise that God promised him. It's not only that he gave him the son, but out of him there will be great nation. So it wasn't just a promise for Abraham, but it was a promise for Isaac and everyone else in his family. I'm like, through you, I will build that promise. So I will just make it. So we have Isaac. And Isaac, there was a time that he was praying for his wife. Couldn't have kids. They were praying. Finally, they got pregnant. And they got pregnant. They find out actually they have twins. And the twins, there was when we read in the chapter 25, we read actually they were still in the womb. They were fighting. They were still in the womb, and they were fighting with one another. So this is kind of weird, right? So there's life, there's destiny in us already. We think that we are born there, we just become a human. No, there's already destiny there. So they were fighting there, and that's God says because they're fighting because there are two nations coming out of that. They're like two brothers, and then they were born, and there was in that time, when you were born as a first, you had the blessing of the firstborn. And there's as a firstborn, you receive majority of the blessing from the Father. So you were like that. It was a good start. So as a second, even you were as a twin, as a second, you couldn't feel this is not fair. And I can imagine that there was the Esau that was born as the first, and there was a Jacob as the second. And probably the Jacob, I don't know, but I might think that he thought this is not fair, because I think it's not fair. There are twins that are born, and why he gets the stuff, not me. Yesterday, I was doing something in the garden, and just look, and my neighbor came from biking on the bicycle. He came, and I was looking at this bike. I'm not a biker, but I don't know even why. I look at the bike, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's an incredible bike. It's this bicycle, and I'm thinking, man, how much money you spent on it? It's where did you get the money from? Then I was thinking, why do I care? I don't even ride bikes. I mean, I have a bike, but it's not why I'm even jealous of this bike that I'm not going to even use it. So, and I probably, I start thinking that probably quite often we have this thing that we are maybe jealous or thinking of something that it's we want and we don't have it, and we just have this in the heart. A few years ago, we as my wife and I, we were going through quite difficult time when the church was very smaller, and there was this big challenges, and we were going through the big financial challenge, and we got to the point literally, we couldn't afford almost anything. So we just barely were making. So we were thinking of selling the house, whatever. We know we are here to build the church, but the house, it's not important. So we're like, okay. And I was looking at others. I started thinking, like, why they can go for holidays. I don't. I'm serving God. I'm doing this. Why they're having this, I don't have it. And I started kind of building this in my head that other people have things that I don't have it, then I have to learn that actually there's something bigger as a Christian that I should be proud of than having things. So it's great to go for holidays. As I just name it, all the pastors, they everywhere. I'm going to be in Cuba in 10 days, so I'm fine. But anyway, so... But there are so many things that we just, becoming jealous or thinking of other things. But actually, I start thinking, what? I'm called for something bigger. I'm called for bigger things than just for the things that is here. Maybe I can't afford it to go on holidays. Maybe I can't afford it to have a new things. Maybe I can't afford it to have a new things in my house, buy something, new clothes, anything. But there's something more in our life that we have to think that we are called for something bigger than for right here and for right now. It's good to have things. I'm not saying we shouldn't. But in our hearts and our mind, we should always focus that eternity is more important, as we're going to learn today. So going back to the story, Esau and Jacob. And they, they're growing up. They're having, as a brothers, probably lots of issues. All the brothers have the issues with one another. So they, finally they grow up. They were in about the year of 30-something years old. And, Esau was the one who actually, he loved to hunt. So he was like the proper man. This is the man at this time. He was going to the forest. He was hunting. He was bringing the animals. He was killing animals. He was eating animals. So look at you, as you know. So I'm not. And his father, Isaac, he loved him because he was like, this is my son. I'm so proud of him. Jacob was different spirit. Jacob was more silent. He wasn't like this fighter. He wasn't this, as probably as a father, you will think that, especially in that time and this part of history, probably you will think that's what you want your son to be, the fighters, to be the one who hunt, who do things, who discover, who go, and, you have your imagination of life, of people, and anything else. And probably Isaac was the same. And there's two brothers. So Esau went for the hunting. And we read in this chapter, I'm encouraging you to read it, chapter 25, the Genesis. So he went for the hunting, then he came back. And probably, I don't know if he hunted anything or not, but he came very tired. I assume that it wasn't hunting, it wasn't kind of like the fishing. You go, especially now, you have a nice truck, you take something, you go, nice chair, the coffee, the coffee maker, you have sandwiches, you go on the truck, and it's the holidays. It's not like that. So he went for hunting, so probably maybe it even took him a few days. So he came back, and he was super tired, super exhausted. And then he realized that his brother actually cooked a stew. So he was home, so he got some food, so probably he had some goat or something. So he cooked some stew, and he was smelling good. Because he came, and he just saw, I can imagine, when you're super tired, super exhausted. And then he started thinking, why do I care about the promise? Why do I care about the blessing? What is going to bring to me? When today I'm hungry, I'm exhausted, I'm tired. And today I need food and I need the stew. So Esau decided that he's going to sell his firstborn blessing to his younger brother for a stew. So he sold his destiny, just for this one moment of his life. And I think it's quite sorry, like the story is quite sad, because I start thinking his destiny. He didn't just sold his firstborn promises, but he actually gave up from the destiny and the promise that God gave it to Abraham, his grandfather. He didn't think only of the today, but he didn't take the promise that God said, through you, I'm going to build this great nation. He didn't look at the eternity. He was just looking at today. So I want to encourage us today that we think differently, because, each one of us, we're going through some challenges. Not maybe now, but there are challenges in our life all the time. As we just talk, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? We can get to the high place, then there's another, there's another challenge, some challenges are good, some challenges are bad, and God is actually asking us, where is your eye? What are you looking at? Are you looking at it right here, right now? What are we building? Are we building today, or are we building the future, or are we just looking at the eternity thing? Everything, what I'm going to build, what I'm going to do, it's about the eternity. There is each one of us, we have to make decision. And in the letter to Romans, the author, it's if I just have the notes for can I have this? Because I forgot the verse. It's a chapter 8. Yes. Do you remember what was it? 8:18. Thank you, sorry. For I consider that the sufferings of this present time are not worth comparing with the glory that is to be revealed to us. For the creation waits with eager longing for the revealing of the Son of God. Hear this again. For I consider that the sufferings of this present time are not worth comparing with the glory that is to be revealed. Every suffering, every challenge, everything what we have here, we cannot even compare to the blessing, to the promises, to everything what God has for us. If we go through anything, we cannot compare to the glory that He prepared for us. He's okay with this, the tiredness. He came with this whole thing. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. If he just have the eternity of his eyes, that, this moment, it's nothing compares to the glory that it's coming, I would be more willing to, realize I'm not going to have it, because there's something greater. There's something greater. We all as humans, we like the things that we like. If you go to Instagram, you go and then you start seeing, any social media, you go there and I wish this. Oh, they have, they are now on holidays. They're on the beach. Oh, I have this. Oh, where did they get the money? I have no money for bread. And we start singing the song, but it's not a praise song. We like the self-pity song, but we forgot that the destiny, that the suffering now, it's nothing. And we can't, the author said, don't even try to compare. It's hard. What the verse says is it's not it's that your suffering, it's not denying your suffering. That verse, it's not denying anything. It says there is a suffering, and I know there is a suffering, and I know you suffer, because the other verses said, there is we're gonna suffer, we're gonna do the things will happen to us. But this verse says, even so, even if you go through, don't compare to the glory that is coming. So the author knows that God knows that we will have a suffering. We will have challenges. We will have tough times. We'll have hard decisions. But he said, but don't compare to the glory that is coming. We all are called to destiny. And there are a few things We are called to eternity. There are a few things that, it's stopping us because we think we are not worth. We maybe think that's not me or we did something. But actually, God is calling each one of us for eternity. He said, eternity I put into your heart. We all have eternity in our life. Because, we can do whatever. And we all know that all the famous people we follow, that, if I only have this. I wish. And we have big names. The truth is, if you know them, or we know that even the most famous people, the most rich people, the people who have the most things we wish we have it, they're still not happy because they didn't find what they're supposed to look for, the eternity. And we know the eternity, we get eternity by believing that Jesus Christ is our Savior. By knowing Him, we know the eternity. The eternity is in Jesus Christ only, and that's it. So we're looking for the wrong things, but today I want to encourage us, and not encourage us, my prayers that we leave this place with transformation in our mind. Because it's not about encouragement. Because we all get encouraged by good messages, by good pictures, by memes, by Instagram, Facebook. But we forgot that the Word of God is actually transforming us. It's renewing our minds. So we are not thinking the same way. We start thinking it's about the destiny and the eternity and not about the stew that I'm about to eat. What can you eat now? There's probably something is serving you right here because it's easier. It's easier to eat the stew. God will know. I'm so tired. I'm exhausted. He will understand. The truth is, He won't. Because He wants you to experience Him, the faith, trust that He's with you, the peace that comes that's beyond our understanding, the peace that comes not because we know of people, not because we have the peace because we have enough money or because we know of how we're going to make it, how it's going to happen, because we have a book, 12 steps, how to make your life proper. The peace, I'm talking about the real peace that comes from the presence of God. Today I want to encourage us just to take this again, the new mindset. We are called for eternity, church. And eternity is it's not about you and it's not about me. It's about actually bringing other people to get to know Christ. So I want to encourage you for the next few weeks and months and years that we start changing our mind. Not changing, transforming. I'm not here for myself. There are good blessings. It's good to have a house, yes. It's good to have a good business, prosperous business, yes. But we always have to think of something greater. We are called for eternity. As a KDM, like the next few months, we're going to start our KDM South Church. And we already put on the calendar, on November, we started the first service. So we are getting excited. We don't know many things yet, but we want to get excited. The same with Kiev. We're thinking of going there in November. Why? Because we want to have an eternity focus. Can we afford it? Why no? No idea how it's going to work. Oh my gosh, if I only know, that would be fantastic. But if we think eternity, then we think that's the greatest adventure ever. Fighting the fear, fighting the unknown, fighting the things that we don't know, we don't have it, but actually trusting God. And thinking that eternity is not just for me, but it's for all. That this city, this region, this country, that continent will know that there is a God. We are not here to survive. We are not here just to, when Jesus comes. We are here to walk the walk. Making sure that He's with me and we know that there's eternity. The bad news is it costs a lot. It's going to hurt us. It's going to cost us more. It's going to cost you more financially, your time, free time. I need my free time. We need free times. But God is going to ask you, can you do it? Can you try? Can you see eternity, not only on your personal life? Now we all know it's about you. Just fix your life. But as I said, God, a few weeks ago, God actually is encouraging us to serve one another. When you serve one another, lots of our problems are being fixed. We want to fix ourselves before we do anything. In God's kingdom, it's a different way. God is fixing me while I'm serving others. Because it's not about me. It's about Him doing great things through me. Maybe you're not ready, but you're ready. You and I, we are ready for the great adventure because we are called to eternity. It's nothing gonna give us more joy, fulfillment than just living for eternity. Being brave, that we can stand out. I'm gonna do it. I don't know how. When we came to Krakow years ago, we know that God is calling us to be here. And I have a great meeting. You heard the story with a few amazing pastors, and they asked me amazing, wise question that I should know the answer. I have no answer to every question they were asking me. I felt stupid, not qualified. I have no money. I was not prepared. My son was just born. Everything was not right according to human eyes. But God called us to eternity. When He calls each one of us, He knows. He knows more than we think. And we need to trust Him more than we trust ourselves, that we trust our finances, that we trust our, the giftings and everything what we have. Because He is God. Amen. How simple it sounds, how hard it is to live, that He is God. The Bible starts with this incredible verse, at the beginning, God. There's no question, this declaration. At the beginning, God. As Kama said, amen. We are not gods. So let's give Him the seat that is only for Him. At the beginning, God. And when He says something, He's able to do it. According to His plans, His timing, through His people. Do we like it? No. Get ready for a time when you have less time for yourself, less money for yourself, less yourself. But guess what? We all will be better people and be more happy. We'll be more happy. I'm finishing when I have a chance to be and saw some poor areas in Africa. The kids has nothing. They were more happy than our kids on the streets. They find the joy somewhere else. I'm not talking about being poor in the spirit. But I just want to encourage us, let's remember we are here to live for eternity. For eternity. So you can sign up for our places that we're going to start. If you don't know what you want to do, it's a great place to be. Just start somewhere. This Thursday, I met with the vice president of Krakow. I went to meet her, and she said, Pastor, There are two other places that we would love your church to serve the families and kids. As soon as you're ready, we'll just make a new contract. How incredible it is that the city that's been known that it's tough city, it's actually offering a church opportunities to serve. Eternity, church. Eternity for each one of you. There is something bigger to live for than just to fight for every single day. Yes, there is a stew ready, the stew that you can eat it today, but maybe there's something greater coming. So put the stew on the side and remember that there's greater destiny.